Each week on Culinary Confidential, Christina Cates, a seasoned foodie who has worked at some of New York City's top restaurants, will share her passion for the culinary world. Whether you're a professional chef, a restaurant enthusiast, or a lover of good food, Christina dives into the heart of hospitality, exploring the trends, triumphs, and challenges facing the food service profession. And you won't want to miss her chats with some of the most interesting and influential industry voices. And now, please take your seat at the table as Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates starts now, exclusively on AM 970, The Answer.
Welcome to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates. This show is produced in association with my dear friends, Lucas A. Ferrara. As we continue to kick off a brand new year, tonight's episode taps into a movement that's grown from a quiet, personal reset into a full-blown cultural shift, and that's known as Dry January. What started as a month-long break from alcohol has become a moment for reflection, wellness, and rethinking our relationship with what's in our glass. Dry January participation has surged in recent years. Recent surveys suggest that roughly 1 in 4 adults in the U.S. now plans to reduce or eliminate alcohol at the start of the year, and globally, tens of millions take part annually. What's especially interesting is that many participants aren't giving up alcohol forever. They're using January as a reset. Studies show that people who complete Dry January often report better sleep, increased energy, improved focus, and even financial savings, with many continuing to drink less long after the month ends. And the drinks themselves? They've completely changed. This isn't about white-knuckling your way through sparkling water anymore. The non-alcoholic beverage category has exploded, with sophisticated zero-proof wines, spirits, aperitifs, and ready-to-drink cocktails designed to deliver complexity, ritual, and flavor without the alcohol. Bars, restaurants, and retailers are taking notice, and consumers are demanding elevated options that feel celebratory, not restrictive. At the same time, it's important to acknowledge that alcohol has long played a positive social role. Sharing a glass of wine or a cocktail can enhance connection, mark celebrations, lower social barriers, and create a sense of ritual around food and gathering. In many cultures, moderate drinking is tied to hospitality, tradition, and community, something that's deeply intertwined with dining and nightlife. For many people, alcohol isn't just about the drink itself, but the social experience it helps facilitate. What's changing now is that people want options. They want the ability to participate in social rituals without always consuming alcohol. And that's where the non-alcoholic movement comes in. Tonight's zero-proof wines, spirits, and cocktails aren't afterthoughts. They're intentionally crafted to offer complexity, texture, and a sense of occasion. The non-alcoholic beverage category has exploded, showing up on serious cocktail menus, at dinner parties, and even in fine dining settings. That's why tonight's conversation is such a great one. I'm joined in studio by Nick Poletto of Kobrand Corporation, a leader in the global wine and spirits industry who has a front row seat to how consumer preferences are shifting and how premium non-alcoholic and low ABV offerings are reshaping the market. We'll talk about how producers are responding to Dry January, why this category is growing year-round, and what the future of mindful drinking really looks like. Later in the hour, I'll be joined by Dr. Ali Cadili, who will help us break down the health benefits of taking a break from alcohol, from liver function and inflammation to sleep quality, mental clarity, and long-term wellness. We'll explore what actually happens in the body when alcohol is removed, who benefits most from Dry January, and how even short-term changes can have lasting impact. Whether you're fully committing to Dry January, experimenting with non-alcoholic drinks, or simply curious about the wellness conversation happening across the food and beverage world, tonight's show is about intention, balance, and choice, without sacrificing pleasure. Nicholas Poletto, welcome to Culinary Confidential. You trekked all the way into the studio from Westchester, and I really appreciate that. And you're the expert and the wine educator in the non-alc world also, and I'm delighted to have you on the show. So let's get into it.
Let's do it. Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, Nicholas is the Vice President of Education for the Kobrand Corporation. He started his wine career working for a New York City-based distributor, servicing premium restaurants. 5 years later, he moved to Martinborough, New Zealand to assist in winemaking at Mebus Estate. Nick returned to the U.S. as a state manager for Kobrand in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. During this time, Nick taught WSET classes at Johnson & Wales Culinary Institute. In 2011, Nick was promoted to Director of Education at Kobrand and relocated back to New York. Today, he oversees education and sales training for Kobrand's distributor network across the U.S. He conducts wine education classes, WSET classes while also working with marketing and media nationally. He is a Diploma WSET graduate and currently a Stage 2 candidate in the Masters of Wine program. Wow, what an accomplished person we have in the studio tonight.
Yeah, that sounds pretty busy, but it's a really great industry and opens so many doors, so many places to go visit and travel to.
I
absolutely
bet.
Love it.
I
Absolutely
bet.
love it.
You must have a really full camera roll.
Yes,
right?
that's true.
Because a lot of these wineries across the world, they're just stunning landscapes.
Yes.
Good for you. Okay, Nicholas, let's talk a little bit about Dry January in the big picture. It's become a major movement. What are you seeing from consumers that explains its staying power?
Yeah, so it is really interesting. If you were to go back even 5 years, I don't think we'd be having this conversation. So it's really current, which is exciting to have. I think it's almost like the perfect storm of a lot of different influences coming together at the same moment. You have a combination of people being more interested in their daily habits, and we can see that everything from yoga, from where they shop, from the movement towards organic, sustainable foods. So we see that on every metric that we track, we can see that movement. And we see it in the regular wine world too. Most of our wineries today are organic, they're biodynamic, they're sustainable. So they're all moving in that direction. But the non-alcoholic movement, we didn't see this one coming. And this is interesting. It's a combination of good intentions and I would argue possibly confused intentions.
Ooh, tell me more.
So what I mean by that, good intentions is everything should be done in moderation. And I think we all agree with that. And too much of
moderation.
Even moderation should be moderated. Yes, agreed. And what happens, though, is that narrative can be taken too far. And there are special interests that are out there that are looking to take it as far as they possibly can. And currently, the way it stands is that we have a now January dry where we're not going to be focusing as much on alcohol, but more non-alcoholic wines. And we've said, okay, let's embrace that. And we've brought on producers like Pierre Chevin in France, the very first sparkling wine non-alcoholic producer.
Wow.
We brought on spirits like Lucano, a symbolic, iconic producer from Italy, all non-alcoholic to help those that are interested in following, this new movement.
So what do you think, since you brought them in studio tonight, should we give it a little bit of a taste test?
I think we should.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, I've never had a non-alcoholic, alcohol before.
Yeah.
I usually go for the real thing.
Right. And I have to say I'm with you, so we can do that together. But for those that are interested in something that is non-alcoholic, and there's many different reasons why. Maybe you're looking just to take a break from a glass of wine here and there. Maybe, and this is actually how Pierre Chevin got started, maybe you're a female that got pregnant and you love wine and you're looking to have a beverage with everyone else, and you can't. So that is actually how Pierre Chevin got started. It's owned and started by a female.
Ooh, I like it even more.
Yep, and she's awesome. And she was in that exact situation where she was pregnant, and she actually is from Champagne, owns vineyards, and said, I don't think I can go a year or however long she's going to be.
I'm surprised she even thought she should. Like the French, they drink while they're pregnant.
Well, again, the French know moderation.
Yeah.
So yes, but no, they are they're pretty up to date, and they've decided to move on to something like this. So this first sparkling wine is called Pierre Chevin Zero. It's their signature, and it's 100% Chardonnay. And here we go. I'll give you
ladies first, Ryan Pagano.
Ladies first.
You got that right, Christina.
And I want to first set the table for this, in that what I should tell you about this is not meant to replace wine. It's meant to go in conjunction with wine. What I mean by that is that if you are not going to be drinking non-alcoholic wine, then you are probably not going to start drinking non-alcoholic wine, because it really doesn't have all the structure and things that you want in a wine.
Okay. Can I go for it?
You sure can.
Quick cheers in the studio. Annie, the intern, who brought the wine opener tonight. Thank you.
Strong move, Annie.
Yeah. Thank you.
To Nick being in studio with us tonight.
There we go.
Okay, but it's lovely.
Yeah. It smells like wine. Like, you're just smelling it. It's got the same effervescence.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's got the same aroma and all that.
Yeah, it does. It does.
That tastes great, though.
And so what it has is it's also got that structure. And you're getting that structure in part from the wonderful acidity that you have here.
Yeah.
So the thing that's really tricky, though, is that when you make a non-alcoholic wine, you're pulling out the alcohol, which is it's just making up about 15% of the product. So when you remove that, everything else gets enhanced. And so the acid is enhanced, all those other things. So if you were at a holiday party or something like that, or whatever it is, that you're hanging out with some friends, you wanted to hang out, but you didn't want to have anything alcoholic, this allows you to still be part of that environment.
I feel like I like this better than real champagne. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah, I could go for a lot more of this now compared to the actual thing.
I think it's lovely.
Yeah, it is really nice.
De-alcoholized sparkling Chardonnay.
Yeah. So some people say, well, this must mean that it's easier to make. So you don't have to make the alcohol. It's actually much harder to make because we have to make the wine, and when it's all done, then we got to do an extra
double
step.
process.
Yeah, that's another step, another process. Now we got to take the alcohol out.
So is this more expensive?
It is more expensive to make for sure, but it is not more expensive. This will retail around $20.
Okay, that's not bad.
No. And you think champagne right now is $75, $100.
Sky's the limit. It could
Exactly.
go hundreds.
100%, yeah. So that's the sparkling Chardonnay. It's 100% Chardonnay. And these all come from the south of France.
Lovely. I love the south of France.
Oh,
I was
isn't that
there
beautiful?
this summer.
Oof. Why'd you come back?
Because I missed Ryan Pagano. I couldn't leave him working on Lucas Ferrara's show, Amen. A radio sugar daddy.
Oh, my gosh. So
Okay.
one more?
Yeah, let's keep
Let's
it
do
going.
Let's do it. So
I'm not driving.
And you can, though. You can. There's no alcohol in this. So this wine right here is our Pierre Chevin Zero Spritz. So
Fancy.
now you see the spritz. It looks a little Campari-esque, doesn't it? Spritz.
Beautiful.
And this right here is slightly different. It's actually our top seller. And this is different in that this has an infusion of orange.
Ooh.
So now things
I'm
are getting
that
interesting.
from the color.
Yeah. So you have to envision this maybe over ice. Yes, it's still got bubbles. Over ice, you're by the pool.
Smell it.
Maybe you're in the Mediterranean looking at the Côte d'Azur. Maybe you're just, I don't know where, on the Jersey Shore.
Doubt it. You're drinking high noons there.
Another toast.
Another toast.
Okay.
So on the nose right away, you get that spritz, that orange. It's almost that Campari aromatic.
I'm like drinking this for breakfast Monday to Friday. I'm not kidding you.
I might take you up on that, Christina.
Because it's like this is almost like a mimosa, but 100 times better.
100 times. It's got that bitterness, which I love.
Yeah.
It totally has that Aperol Spritz bitterness, doesn't it?
Totally. Like the first thing that I thought of when I tasted it, just like a spritz or even like an orange soda or something.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah, I do too. I think actually it'd be awesome too if we actually mixed some alcohol with it. But that would kind of be against. We're not doing that in January. We'll do that maybe in February.
We'll do it February 1. This is great. All right, should we bust open this Amaro Lucano non-alcoholic?
Yeah. So this is totally different than what we've just had.
Oh, hell yeah, it
Okay,
is.
so now we're going to Italy. And in Italy, we're going to go to the southern part of Italy, all the way down to Basilicata, which is the southern part of Italy. And it's down in Basilicata where you will find Amaro Lucano. Now,
You were made for this, by the way.
thank you. This is a lot of fun. I love being here. This is great. So Amaro Lucano, what's interesting about this is one of the most iconic Amaro producers in all of it. They just had their image put on a stamp in Italy, a postage stamp. That's how famous they are. The King of Savoy, the king who ruled Italy, he used to drink this.
Unbelievable.
Not the non-alcoholic one, though. The
Definitely
alcoholic
not the non-alc. I don't know that I'm going to like this.
Yeah, so...
Because I don't like the one with alcohol.
Okay, well, it tastes just like it, but without alcohol.
Yep.
So
This guy I worked with at the Palm in Tribeca,
Yeah.
he was another manager with me. He was the closing manager. He had to start his day with this in his coffee.
Oh, my God.
Every day.
wow.
Every single day.
Every day. Just a little,
Yeah.
But did it lead to success, though? That's the real question
Oh, yeah.
to be asking.
Oh, yeah.
So every Amaro is going to taste different. So every Amaro has a different herbs, different things you're going to produce to get those wonderful aromas and flavors. This one is specific to the area of Basilicata. And imagine what southern Italy looks like. Sunshine, hillsides, warmth, just incredible vegetation. And they have this around them. Humidity. They've got beautiful herbs and plants. And in that, they make beautiful cordials, I guess this would be considered, Amaros. So this is a secret recipe. We don't know what it is. The only person that knows this recipe is Leonardo Vena, who is the owner. Him and his, let's call it winemaker, spirit maker, distiller, master.
Inner cabinet.
Yes, inner cabinet. They're the only ones that know it. The only ones that know it. So.
Well, cheers. Did you want to try that, Annie?
I'm still working on it.
Okay, you're still working on the
All right.
the spritz?
I'll taste this one with you.
Put a little hair on your chest, Pagano.
Yeah, it certainly does.
What did you think?
I feel like all this really is very good. I will say, though, like this definitely tastes the strongest of the bunch.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
This is interesting because it has herbs, it's got wormwood, it has citrus peel, it has all these different things. But it doesn't have any of the heat you have from the alcohol. There's no burn or anything like that, right?
Right.
So it's very
point.
smooth in that regard.
right away you could just taste a bunch of different things. Pretty much what you were describing, Nick. Like a little bit of herbs, a little citrusy tang. It all complements each other well.
Yeah.
So our taste test portion of the segment, I think, is coming to an end. But don't go anywhere. Leave all this here because that was great stuff. Now, before we go to break, Nicholas, for people who love wine culture but are taking a break from alcohol, what mindset shift do you recommend?
Well, the beauty about these products is that one of the beautiful things that people that enjoy wine often enjoy food.
Yeah.
And what's great now is that you can still enjoy food because they enhance each other, and you can still have that great meal, that great steak, that great sushi plate, that whatever it might be, that great plate of pasta, and it can still be accompanied by a bottle of non-alcoholic wine, which will give you that same beautiful harmony that real wine does.
Yeah.
And so for people that are entering this month, know that not all is lost. In that
We're just getting started, really.
Right. There is hope. Because you can still enjoy those wonderful meals that you have with something that is not water or soda.
Pomp and circumstance of it, yeah.
You can still open a nice bottle. You can still feel that you're having something special. For a lot of people, opening a glass of wine is relaxing. That's what I think is really important, is often missed, is it's also social. And you can still have that because you're still opening something. It looks like wine. It tastes like wine. It feels like wine. It doesn't have the alcohol. But all those other things that go along with it are there. And that's what's beautiful.
Oh, life is beautiful. All right, let's go to our first commercial break. Nicholas, don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. You're listening to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates on AM 970 The Answer.
Over the last 30 years, Newman Ferrara, a New York City law firm, has evolved into a national practice focused on real estate, commercial, litigation, civil rights, class actions, and other complex litigation, representing many of the city's largest property owners, managing agents, and thousands of tenants. Newman Ferrara handles some of the nation's most significant class actions and civil rights matters. Newman Ferrara at 1250 Broadway in New York City. Go online to newmanferrara.com. That's newmanferrara.com. Listen to the firm's name partner, Lucas Ferrara, every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Dottie Herman's longest-running real estate radio program, Eye on Real Estate on AM 970. A real estate lawyer for 35 years, Lucas is a professor at New York Law School and is also a published author with books on real estate and New York's landlord-tenant law. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to hear Lucas's unique perspective and advice on Eye on Real Estate.
Welcome back to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates on AM 970, The Answer.
Welcome back to the show. Joining us again is Nicholas Poletto of Kobrand Corporation, one of the most respected names in wine and spirits importing. He's here to talk about how the company is evolving with the times, specifically through its growing portfolio of premium non-alcoholic brands and what that shift says about today's drinking culture from dry January to mindful sipping year-round. Nicholas.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much. Something just came across my mind I was thinking about as you were just saying that. We are a leader in wine, and I think we're becoming more of a leader in innovation as well. And one of the things that I'm excited about is when you talk about wine, it's obviously very historical, right? And wine's been around forever.
Forever.
Right?
People are making it in their basements and caves.
Right, exactly. After water, it is the next most natural thing we have to drink, okay?
Yep.
And I was just thinking about the two areas that we're representing here today. We're representing Pierre Chavin from France, the very first premium sparkling wine, non-alcoholic of France, made by a woman who's from Champagne. Champagne, one of the most traditional historical places. And they've said, let's innovate. Right? And then you look at the other wine I have here, the other product, which is Amaro Lucano. This producer goes back to 1894, okay? I mean, this is the original Amaro of Italy. And they've said, let's innovate. How cool is that?
That's cool. What I also think is cool is how passionate you are about this.
Oh, of course. I love this.
This is a perfect job for you, Nicholas.
I love the industry. I love the products. And I also love food. And that's what these things pair so well with.
Well, you know what? We were just talking off air about how later in the show I have Dr. Ali coming on. He's going to talk about the downside of drinking, right? The health benefits for abstaining from alcohol. But this is very natural, and there's other things that people ingest and put into their bodies on a daily basis, which is so much worse than alcohol.
100%.
We were talking about what? The Monster energy drinks.
Right. It's so frustrating. I mean, if we're going to start counting all the things that kill us, wine is not at the top. Let me tell you that right now. There's a lot of things we should be cutting out of our body if we're going to go down this road. And I think if we go down this road, we'll be a pretty sad society as well.
Yeah.
Of course, like we always say, and we've always preached this, moderation, moderation, moderation. People have problems that can't control alcohol. I'm not referencing that. Yes, they should be abstaining forever. But I'm talking about people that enjoy a couple glasses with their meal or with friends. It brings you together. And the aspect that's not talked about enough is the mental health aspect. We all learned during COVID what it was like to not be around people.
That's right.
And one of the great things that wine does is it brings us together. You're opening a glass, you're opening a bottle of wine, you invite a couple friends over, and all of a sudden you're having great conversation, you have a great time, a more memorable time. Well, that occasion was brought together in part by that wonderful bottle of wine you're enjoying with them. And I don't think that necessarily is what's going to kill you. I actually think it's going to make you healthier. And there are a lot of studies showing that wine helps with heart disease, it helps with dementia. It helps with certain cancers. It has an antioxidant, especially in red wines. I already talked about the mental health benefits. That's what's not spoken about because there's a lot of special interests out there that want you to stop drinking wine forever. Okay,
so we're not talking dry January anymore. You have Tattinger that you brought us tonight? We're going back to drinking alcohol. Forget it.
Listen, the Tattinger's there. I'm drinking. I don't care what month it is.
Oh, this is funny. Okay, let's talk about the portfolio at Kobrand as a whole. Kobrand is known for premium wine and spirits. Mm-hmm. What led you to expand, though, into the non-alc space? Supply and demand?
Well, it's interesting because there's real data behind what's been happening. If you look at the past 4 years, again, non-alcoholic wines weren't around 5 years ago, really, right? And I also want to caution all of our listeners.
Wait, let's just take a step back. Yeah. They probably were around slightly, but they just weren't made well.
And frankly, that's what I was going to say. They're still not made well, unfortunately. It is not an easy process. I like to think of it like this. You have to take alcohol out of a finished wine. We used to do it with a chainsaw. Now we're using a scalpel, more or less, but it's still not a laser. Okay? Yeah. So what I mean by that is that you can taste some of these non-alcoholic wines and you're like, oh my gosh, that is not good. Because we do tastings every week at our office. We do competitive blind tastings of all of our wines. And we'll taste them. And if our wine is not in the top 1 or 2, our CEO is there. He picks up the phone. He calls the winemaker and says, we have a problem.
Really?
We do that every week. And I've tasted a lot of different wines in different categories, including the non-alc. And there's a lot of bad wines out there. But again, non-alcoholic wines are not at the point where they're to replace.
Just another option.
They're just another option. And you know what a lot of people are doing, I'm also seeing, is a glass of regular wine, and then a glass of non-alcoholic
Was
wine.
that called like zebra striping?
Yeah, zebra striping. Instead of water, you're having something really great that still looks like wine and feels like wine.
Yeah.
So that's another great opportunity. But think about this. Listen to this. Over the past 4 years, the non-alcoholic wines have grown 117% in volume. We've gone from 800,000 cases to just over 1,600 cases. Think about that number. And if people don't understand volume, they'll understand dollars, right? Everyone understands dollars.
Yes, we like to talk numbers here.
We like to talk dollars here. So, in 2025, we're going to hit $1 billion as a category in non-alcoholic wine, not including beer. I'm talking wine. $1 billion in sales. That's pretty impressive.
But regular wine sales are down.
Regular wine sales are down, but they're down based off of their extreme high of 2019, 2020, which was the beginning of COVID, when everybody was stockpiling. So it's unfair to really focus on those numbers. If we want to really see the full picture, look at 2017, 2018, beginning of 2019 data. That's a different story. But the wine industry's been growing for 20 plus years. At some point, it's got to level out.
Yeah.
And people are acting like the sky's falling. Well, you know what? We can't grow at a screaming pace for over 25 years. At some point, we got to level out.
Yeah.
And frankly, there's probably too many wineries. That's the inside secret. There probably are too many.
That's true.
So this is a natural cycle, and people that are making quality product will still be here tomorrow.
As in any industry.
Exactly.
Okay, are you seeing demands for non-alcoholic options coming more from consumers, restaurants, or retailers?
We're seeing it most strongly by the restaurant. But the restaurant is driven by the consumer. The restaurant wouldn't offer it if the consumer didn't want it. So I guess consumer, then restaurant, and then always last to follow is the retail. So the consumer, there's a couple different things. People also have to understand that climate change is real, and we see it in the vineyards every day.
Tom, give me an example of something you're seeing anywhere around the world.
Okay, so there's a million. Here's a good example. If you look at the average alcohol level of a wine, same vineyard, today in Montalcino, which is a very famous wine region in Tuscany, it would probably be around 14.5% to 15%. 20 years ago, it was 12%. So you're seeing these huge jumps in alcohol. Now, the only way you can get more alcohol is if you have more sugar. The only way you get more sugar is if you have more heat.
Yeah.
And so that's part of what's driven this non-alcoholic
Global warming.
Global warming, it's real. We're seeing insects in France that were only ever in Sicily. Because
this is wild.
Because it's getting so much warmer that these insects are migrating north. I mean, it's unbelievable. So it's really interesting to follow that. And I'm seeing it not just in Europe. I'm seeing it in Australia, New Zealand. You're even seeing it in Japan. You're seeing it all over the world. But what is driving this interest in the restaurants? Well, the consumers come in and said, listen, alcohol's got more alcohol, which means I can't drink 2-3 glasses and still get in a car. Because I want to be safe.
Yeah.
B, the penalties for drinking and driving are so harsh now that you can't even get involved in that. Great. I have no problem. That's awesome. Less people driving the streets that shouldn't. Great. But they need to drink something. Number 2 is mocktails. Mocktails. Man, those are big. And these are great for that. Because they got the fizz, they've got the character, they've got the different
structure. Phony Negroni is like the hottest term.
There we go. So that's also where it's big. And then the retailers come on board and said, could you do all of this in a 200 milliliter? And we said, sure. And that's what's hot right now. 200 milliliters. You don't have to buy a whole bottle.
On the pulse.
There you
Nicholas
go, baby.
Poletto.
There you go. All the time.
First of all, mocktails aren't even cheaper than a cocktail.
It's true.
I mean, friends of mine that go out that don't drink, and the bill comes, I'm like, no, your drink was more than mine. Get out of here.
It's so true. Yeah, 100%. But for wine, it's more expensive.
All right. I'm going to do a little personal perspective with you, Nicholas.
Okay.
Have these brands, right, that you represent at Kobrand, which are delicious.
Thank you.
Have they changed how you think about drinking or entertaining?
They have, only in the sense that I'm more aware and considerate to my guests.
So you will stock your at-home bar with a non-alc option?
I will. And I think one of the real benefits of this whole movement, which is much bigger movement than just dry January, there's also the introduction of legalized substances as well. What you've seen is people that were maybe hesitant to say, listen, I really shouldn't drink alcohol. I don't like what it does to me, or I'm just not feeling that way tonight. They now have this opportunity to say, you know what else do you have? And I say, I've got this. And I open a bottle of sparkling wine or sparkling non-alcoholic wine, Pierre Chavin. They're like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. Thank you.
I'm going to take another sip of that. I love it.
So yeah, 100% it's made me do that. But me personally, I'm still opening regular wine unless, of course, I'm driving carpool or I am going to... I'm going out to play a sport or something. So then I'm like, okay, this has actually worked out for me.
What excites you most about what Kobrand is building in the non-alcoholic space?
What excites me most about it is that we are staying true to who we are, which are small, family-owned, premium quality brands. We could have easily gone out and grabbed a bunch of large volume producers that had a flashy label and we're making moderate to low quality wine.
Yeah.
And we've just said, oh, that's not alcoholic wine. Sorry, but here it is. You should buy it. It's the trend. You should buy it.
Right.
We could have gone down that road, and that's something that we never do. The number one priority at Kobrand has always been quality. And you can see it in every wine and non-alcoholic wine we produce.
I mean, just the fact that you're doing those weekly competitive taste tests.
Every week.
I think that's fantastic.
Yes, every week, multiple times during the week.
I'm afraid of your CEO.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right, before we end our time together, where do you see the biggest opportunity? Wine, spirits, aperitifs, or ready to drink?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Biggest opportunity is still anything that's got bubbles. People love bubbles. Yeah. I mean, it just makes people happy. And
celebratory.
Exactly. You know what the great thing about bubbles are today? Is that they're available at all price points. Back in the day, you're like, oh, you're opening something with the bubbles? It must be really special. It must be champagne. You must have paid a lot. Today, it's like, oh, open a bottle of Prosecco. Open a bottle of non-alcoholic Pierre Chavin. It's a Tuesday. I'm hanging out with some friends. That's really great. And that we've seen that trend continue to grow.
I love it. Honestly, I feel like people are going to look at me sideways when I'm drinking Pierre Chavin Spritz 8 a.m. on a Tuesday, but it's delicious.
Yeah. And you're like, don't judge. It's got no alcohol.
Yeah. I'll have to put a disclaimer on my glass.
Yeah, there's a reason why you'd be drinking it at 8 a.m. I'm not just talking about the fact that it's not alcoholic.
I love you, Ryan. All right, Nicholas, thank you so much. Thank you for coming in studio tonight. This was so special, and the treats you brought us, what a special way.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun. I really appreciate it.
Come back anytime.
Anytime. I'd love to.
All right, stay tuned. Up next, we have Dr. Ali Cadili, and he's going to talk to us about, the health benefits of abstaining from alcohol for the month of January and if there's any other benefits to drinking alcohol. So stay tuned. You're listening to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates on AM 970 The Answer.
Over the last 30 years, Newman Ferrara, a New York City law firm, has evolved into a national practice focused on real estate, commercial, litigation, civil rights, class actions, and other complex litigation, representing many of the city's largest property owners, managing agents, and thousands of tenants. Newman Ferrara handles some of the nation's most significant class actions and civil rights matters. Newman Ferrara at 1250 Broadway in New York City. Go online to newmanferrara.com. That's newmanferrara.com. Listen to the firm's name partner, Lucas Ferrara, every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Dottie Herman's longest-running real estate radio program, Eye on Real Estate on AM 970. A real estate lawyer for 35 years, Lucas is a professor at New York Law School and is also a published author with books on real estate and New York's landlord-tenant law. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to hear Lucas's unique perspective and advice on Eye on Real Estate.
Welcome back to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates on AM 970, The Answer.
Welcome back to the show. I would like to now welcome Dr. Ali Cadili to talk about the benefits of practicing dry January and an alcohol-free lifestyle. Dr. Cadili completed his medical school education at the University of Saskatchewan and his residency training in general surgery at the University of Alberta in Edmonton. He also earned a Master of Science in Fellowship in Surgical Critical Care at the University of Connecticut. He is the author of numerous publications in medical literature and continues to be actively involved in clinical research. Dr. Ali, welcome to the show.
Hi, Christina. Pleasure to be here.
So you're our in-house doctor for the evening. I need to talk with you, if you don't mind, about the short-term benefits of participating in dry January. Can you tell me, what immediate changes might blood tests show in my liver function after 1 month of abstinence?
So essentially, first things you'd feel is less fatigue, less anxiety, better mood in general. You'll find better hydration, better skin quality, less puffiness and dark circles around the eyes, things like that you'll notice yourself, first of all. There would also be, in most cases, some weight loss. Standard drink has about 100 to 150 calories, but it's also about the inhibition that comes with, the lack of inhibition, I should say, that comes with alcohol, where people tend to consume more food.
Right.
So those are the immediate things you'd notice. And really, in terms of longer term benefits, the liver, it allows the liver time to recover. So less fat buildup and inflammation in the liver. It allows regeneration in damaged liver, and that can begin within weeks for people who drink. There's mental clarity, better focus, better memory, better mood, as we said. And longer term, there'll be reduced cancer risk because it generally lowers the inflammation in the body. And there have been several cancers associated with alcohol consumption.
Like what?
Like mouth, throat, esophagus, colon, liver, pancreas, breast cancer even. Other longer term issues with alcohol is the thinning of the bone, especially in postmenopausal women, leaky gut in general. And people even notice lower blood pressure and cholesterol with quitting. But probably a very important issue is just it allows for a bit of a reset after holiday excesses. And, even partial abstinence yields benefits. And people in general, even if they go back to drinking or they partially abstain, will drink less overall afterwards. And so it resets your habits. It allows you to take back control and really get a better insight into your relationship with alcohol.
Okay, so you talked about energy and mood. Many people report better energy and mood when they're abstaining from alcohol. What is the physiological basis for these short-term improvements?
So alcohol is a depressant of the central nervous system. So it basically...
Not tequila. Isn't tequila an upper?
Yeah. So, and you'll notice when people drink, it impairs judgment, reduces inhibitions, coordination, and then there'll be some euphoria followed by sedation. It generally tends to dehydrate people, which causes fatigue, nausea, and headaches. And so people will have a better and more stable mood in general when they're dry.
And how does alcohol disrupt sleep cycles?
So, as we said, because it's a central nervous system depressant, it causes the disruption of that.
The circadian rhythms.
Exactly. So when you sleep and then it's a depressant, so you'll sleep immediately, but you don't get good quality sleep. Then you'll wake up and it's basically this range from euphoria to basically sedation. So, generally we need, a solid night sleep, which is the ideal thing for the body. It varies from person to person, but we generally say 6 to 8 hours a night. And alcohol will disrupt that because you might sleep immediately, then wake up. The quality of the sleep is poor.
It's true.
And then that will kind of disrupt the rhythms for the following days and the next day after.
I'll tell you what happens when I drink tequila. If I go out and I drink even one tequila at this point in my life, I'm 41 years old, I'm up the whole night. I don't know what has happened to me. It gives me anxiety. My heart's racing. It's 2:00 in the morning. I can't go to sleep, so I can't drink that anymore. which is really just disappointing for myself, I gotta say. But
yeah, and you might notice that even though you're up all night and you're awake, but you're actually tired still, and and that makes you irritable. It increases anxiety, less tolerant of things in general. So you don't really get the rest you need, even though it might put you to sleep.
Okay, Dr. Ali, let me ask you, is a 1-month break from alcohol sufficient to see a positive change in blood pressure or other cardiovascular markers?
So the general answer is yes, because as we said, there have been studies that showed that if you abstain for 1 month, even when you go back later, you'll generally have less alcohol consumption going forward.
Oh, interesting.
Because it does allow you to reset that relationship and your habits in general for most people. And as we said, there are healing in different parts of the body, especially the liver, which is probably, you can argue, the most affected organ, that begins within weeks. So there will be healing, less inflammation immediately. So it does help to reset things. So the short answer is yes.
Is there any benefit from drinking alcohol? There's got to be something. You've heard about like resveratrol, I think, in red wine that's good for the heart. Are there any known benefits of drinking alcohol regularly?
Yeah, so there were older studies that came out and said that if you drink moderately, and again, this differs based on gender, but 1 to 2 glasses, especially red wine, it has health benefits in terms of your heart and cardiovascular system. There's been more recent studies, however, larger studies that have shown that benefit isn't really borne out. There's a lot of methodological weaknesses in those studies that were performed. Most notably, they compared people who kind of drink very moderately to people who abstain. And it's theorized that people who abstain were alcoholics and then they abstained, whereas the people who are drinking very moderately also tend to have better exercise and health habits, and they're more conscientious in general. Mm-hmm. So it didn't account for all these factors. So like on balance, whatever small cardiovascular benefit there may be, and there was a suggestion of one, but we're not 100% sure, that's outweighed by the risks of alcohol consumption long term. Because we mentioned things like cancer and liver disease, but there's no minimum amount of alcohol that is safe. Meaning even if 1 or 2 drinks for longer term, it could still have negative effects. And remember, these things, when we talk about cancer or liver disease, they're usually multifactorial. So they're going to depend on the patient's age, gender, other habits, whether they smoke, their diet, and all of that. Generally speaking, alcohol is going to be a negative impact.
Okay, you are a general surgeon, right? So you're doing surgery often. How does chronic alcohol use impact surgical outcomes or the body's ability to heal from trauma?
So it basically depresses their immune system. That delays their healing. They have increased inflammation. And because of the effects on the central nervous system, their response to anesthesia and pain medications is also altered. So we have this large instability. And this is we're talking about people who drink alcohol but don't even have overt liver disease. It hasn't progressed to that level, or cancer. If it's progressed to that level because it's more chronic alcohol consumption, then the risks are even much, much higher. But as we said, the risks of delayed healing, risks of infection, all of that is higher when you drink alcohol.
Ugh. Well, Dr. Ali, I thank you so much for your time tonight. I know I'll think twice before I have a margarita. That's for sure. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Okay, thanks. Let's move on to the ingredient of the week. The ingredient of the week this week is dandelion root. Now, dandelion root is excellent for those observing dry January because it naturally supports the liver and kidneys in flushing out toxins, helping to cleanse the body after the holiday season. It acts as a natural diuretic, which helps reduce bloating and water weight, and it can also stimulate bile flow, which aids digestion. This has been on my personal radar for a while. I've been reading a lot about the benefits of dandelion root, and recently, and I'm certainly going to incorporate this into my ongoing health journey. Now, roasted dandelion root has a rich, toasty, and slightly bitter flavor profile with hints of nuts, making it an excellent and healthy coffee alternative. The most popular use during dry January is brewing roasted dandelion root into a drink that mimics the look and taste of coffee, providing a satisfying hot beverage without the caffeine or alcohol. It can be used in various herbal tea blends with other liver-supporting ingredients like turmeric or ginger. And the young leaves, the dandelion greens, they're also edible and can be used in salads, while the root can be used in various culinary applications to add an earthy flavor. And there's a lot of health benefits. There's liver support, right? It's rich in antioxidants, which protects the liver from oxidative stress and helps repair cells. There's digestive aid. It can help improve the digestion, reduce gas and bloating, and even stimulate the appetite. And it's nutrient-rich. Dandelions are packed with vitamins A, C, and K, as well as minerals like iron and potassium. If you're looking to cut back on alcohol and support your health this month, dandelion root is a flavorful and functional ingredient worth exploring. Thank you for listening to Culinary Confidential with Christina Cates, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. on AM 970 The Answer. Tune in next week as we tackle the carbohydrate conversation head on. We're shifting our focus from simply cutting carbs to reaching for better carbs, exploring the worlds of high-quality, artisanal, and nutrient-dense baked goods that can make you feel good about eating them. I'll be joined by two incredible guests, Alicia Lang, she's the community manager and nutritional expert of Queen Street Bakery, and Marisol Villalobos of Amisar. And that's a local favorite dedicated to the art of natural fermentation and traditional bread making techniques. She's out of Puerto Rico. So join us as we explore the benefits of ancient grains, the magic of sourdough, and how to incorporate wholesome, satisfying carbohydrates back into your diet. But that's the show for tonight. Thanks for listening and have a great night.
The preceding program is sponsored by Shake It Off Live, LLC.